Welcome, welcome to my channel, Awaken and Align with Angel. And I thought my first video would be a nice introduction to who I am and give you some insight on my journey. And so, my channel is all going to be about mediumship development, psychic development, spiritual alignment, spiritual coaching. And it really is because 10 years ago, a decade ago, my life completely changed. My life completely changed. I had gone to college. I decided to go back to college, was going to get an interior architecture degree, got the degree, was working a job, a big girl job, and was really making huge strides in my life with my husband. We purchased a house together, and we were about a month into our house, and my brother died. And actually, what happened was I had been on the phone with my brother prior to his passing, and I was pretty impatient. I was feeling so busy, feeling stretched thin, and actually thought that was cool. And that meant I was doing something with my life, that I was living life with purpose, that sort of thing, because I was so busy, because I was so stressed out, because I was making money. And I just had so much impatience with my brother. My brother was going through a very, very difficult time in his life. He was getting a divorce, all the things, right? And my last phone conversation with him was not a good one. It was not a good one. I'm actually pretty ashamed of what I was saying, my behavior. And a few days after our phone conversation, he committed suicide. And I was devastated. I don't even think that's the right word that illustrates the gravity of grief that I was experiencing. I was pretty, sorry, I'm turning on the lights so you can see me. I was pretty devastated. I was shattered. I felt the weight of guilt just pressing on my body, and I could barely move. I was in almost like disbelief or denial. I remember the moment I found out that he passed away, I collapsed. And I was at work. Somebody from work had to take me to my mother's house. This is where it happened. And yeah, I was pretty devastated. So maybe it was the day after, maybe it was a couple of days after. I just remember being stuck to my bed and could not move. I was so heavy with the weight of guilt and shame on my body. Like I said, it really felt like 10 weighted blankets just laying on my body. I had no desire to move. And I remember my husband was being very patient with me and was being very loving and encouraging. He put on some music and he told me, just whenever you can get up, get up, come downstairs. Why don't you shower? Why don't you just take care of yourself? So he turned on the radio and he left. I noticed that the music stopped playing and I sat up and I looked at the speaker. And the moment I did so, my brother's presence, I felt his presence come to me and actually literally grab me and hold me. And I knew that the song was a message to me. The lyrics, everything was speaking to me. And I remember just feeling like this is my brother. This is him hugging me. When the song was over, I literally felt his spirit pull away from me, but it quite literally like peeled the weight of the shame and the guilt from my body. I literally felt like myself again. I didn't have the weight piled on me, like I was just saying, with the weighted blankets and everything was gone. I was sad. But shortly thereafter, I was kind of like, what in the hell just happened? Was that really my brother? What is going on? And it kind of triggered this like the spell was broken. The hypnosis from the Matrix, it was gone. I was completely like what the hell am I doing with my life? Was that my brother? I know it's my brother. How can I prove it was my brother? Where is he? What is going on? So it's just kind of triggered this journey inwards. And the first step was getting back into alignment with who I was. Like, who am I? I didn't even know who I was. I didn't even know, I couldn't answer the question of what brought me pure joy. I was almost like a stranger to myself. And I was to be in my mid 30s at the time and to have um, this notion that I really didn't even know I couldn't answer questions like that. I started a journey and I worked with a life coach and then a spiritual coach. I worked with spiritual advisors, business coaches, and all the while peppered in that were the mediumship mentors. Now, how did I get to the mediumship mentors? It was working with my first coach, my first life coach, to help get me back into realignment and to try to discover who I was. I needed guidance. I needed someone to talk to that would just be there for me, that was very forward focused, that we really weren't going to be exploring my past. I mean, I've done therapy before, so I really was not interested in that at all. So I started working with a coach, and when working with a coach, all these memories unlocked of seeing and feeling and hearing ghosts. As clear as, you can see me, as clear as I can see, my kids as they walk by the door. And it scared the crap out of me. I was a child of the 80s. My parents didn't care. They let me watch horror movies. And so seeing that, knowing that they weren't there, even though I could see them, freaked me out. And it even kind of freaked my parents out a little bit. They didn't think anything more of it though. Like they didn't like try to get me seen by a mental health professional or anything. They were just like, it's your imagination. It's not really there. And it's too many scary movies. So I kind of like would just want to smother it away. I was tired of hearing my name being called. I was tired of like hearing them talking to me, hearing whispering. It was a big thing, hearing them whisper. Um, but it unlocked all those memories talking with a life coach. And I just felt really pulled and really drawn to explore something, the magic that was out there. And I didn't even have that name for it yet. I didn't even call it magic. I was just like, there's something more that I'm just not, nobody else knows. And I'm going down this trail. So I I had worked with a life coach. I discovered this was about me. I started reading books, tons of books on it. And something told me, if I could meet my brother, if my brother came to me once, he can come to me again. So I kept trying to call him to me and kept doing these, like what I would call spirit dates and everything. And if he would come to me and he would like give me these images and message, I just trusted it. I honored that this was my brother and I just trusted it. It was that same sort of sensation, the same sort of thoughts, feelings, emotions that were coming up the time when he came to me initially. My family thought I was crazy. They thought I was crazy. They thought I was nuts. So I asked my brother one time to just tell me something. Tell me anything that's going to get someone to believe me and know that I am not crazy. I was home alone when I asked him this. I was downstairs. I was sitting on the couch and he showed me his finger. It was his index finger and it showed a knife like going through it. And I thought to myself, did someone cut your finger with a knife? Like that's so weird. It's very random. But my husband ended up calling me right after that. He had just picked up the kids from my mother's house, and I said, "Listen to this. I just connected in with my brother." And he's like, "Okay, okay." And I said, and he showed me an index finger on the left hand getting cut with a knife, and my husband gasped. And he said, "That happened to your mom when I was there to pick up the kids. Your mom cut her finger." I mean, I even felt the sensation and I just knew what hand it was, what finger it was, I saw it. And he said, That just happened, and from that moment on, he believed me. He trusted and believed in me, what I was doing, what I was saying, seeing, and all that stuff. So it kind of like had this trail of, exploring more of the magic. And the deeper I got, the more advisors, spiritual coaches, mentors that I worked with, the more my belief in the quantum, my belief in all things mystical kind of solidified. And it really did spark this fire within me to want to share all of this, to share this knowledge, to share these messages. I started giving readings um, within a few years of working with some mentors. And I just found myself to be kind of naturally just being able to pick it up. And I think I attribute it to my spirit dates that I've done before, and was kind of obsessed with, quite honestly. I was pretty obsessed with it. So I just kind of kept going, kept going. And that's a big key point that I'm going to always say throughout all of my videos, that this is not going to be the first and last time you'll hear it, is that movement creates momentum. So the universe cannot do ish for you until you do something first. Okay, that is just the way it is. We can wish for something and wish for something, and that's only half the battle. We can visualize it, half the battle. Okay, it's not all. You have to be doing something different, because it's your choices that lead to the shifting that comes around you. Small choices, big choices, all the choices out there. Okay, there's a waves of potential in the quantum field, and our choices are what like springs the points, the focus point, to where like more paths kind of open up for you in that way. So yeah, I've been on my journey in 10 years. 10 years now. And all I want to do is just help others expand, to help others lead a life of connection, lead a life of compassion, lead a life of purpose. And the way to do that is to come into alignment, learn the God-given rights that are for you, that your birthright, which is using your intuition with intention, which is a psychic ability, talking to spirit, talking to your guides, talking to the universe, talking to stars, talking to star beings. This is a mediumship mechanic. So I'm very passionate about it, and I'm looking to expand with you. So I'm so excited for this channel. I'm so excited to share the wealth and wisdom that I've gleaned over these last 10 years at the time of this recording. So, and I'm not stopping anytime. Every year I've worked with a new mentor, at least one. And this year is no different. I've worked with several actually already. I've worked with 3. So, and that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. The insatiable thirst for knowledge, to know more, to be more, to have more. And it's for you. If you want it, you can have it. If you want it, it's yours. You deserve it. You just have to receive it. So go ahead and subscribe right now if you are ready to expand and ready to elevate your life. Go ahead and subscribe, like the video, and keep an eye out, because I'm going to be making some more. All right. Bye, you guys.